So, my lovely dears, welcome back to another exciting session in World of Darkness, wherein we've got our full, just blossoming of fresh new vampires in our wonderfully grim dark world. And, done a little bit of preparation. Make sure that people are doing things that are interesting, and they got people all involved. Namely, there is one ongoing quest hook that soon you will all be introduced to. The day's date is the 28th of November, and the current city's effect is the Shroud of Darkness, which, as a reminder, anyone who attempts to lash out with the beast, be it you, be it NPC or otherwise, suffer a -2 modifier. This does count for some monsters and splats that have abilities that are effectively lashing out, but they're their own special version of whatever the fuck. Keeping it generalized to vampire phraseology. It's probably about 7 PM, so plenty dark. There's a faint chill rain that's, casting an extra, just deeper darkness over the city, as it seems to have been most recently. Who would be in the Elysium right around now?
Probably me.
I mean, I would be in the Elysium, I suppose.
What time?
That's 7.
7
You
PM.
wouldn't need
7 p.m.
Yep.
Early.
Saul should be wrapping up his human hours.
Sure. Let's bump
Wait,
guys.
you wouldn't be awake. Vampires aren't awake during the day.
7 PM is night. Definitely during November as well.
Yeah.
It's sunfall is sunset is about 5 PM in November. Indeed, I'll pop you quickly back over here. On the left, you can see how the seasons are broken up. So we're now officially reaching the spread of autumn to winter. That means the nights are quite long. It is broken up for that reference. So you generally have longer days during this period of the year. Days, quote unquote, to you.
Some of the clientele Herr Wexler has to deal with as well.
Makes sense. Now, to describe the Elysium to those who are less than familiar or need a bit of a reminder, it is a very, very large aquarium. Great big, restauranted dining areas. There is still the walking around, actual touristy parts of the aquarium, although those remain, for the most part, uninhabited. The majority of the business done in the Elysium is in, a restaurant area that for most mortals would be rented out for things like wedding functions and, generally, party events. But for the people of the night, it is just any other time. And DCL, Gideon, you are approached by the bartender. She is looking... It's hard to tell. If anyone would like to try and read her facial expressions, you're welcome to give it a go.
Would I get a bonus due to have worked for a while now?
No, because she would have a bonus against you from knowing you for so long. Sadly, it kind of goes both ways. I just decide... She probably would have a bigger modifier, but fuck it, I'll just break it out even. Be wits empathy to read her.
Oh, you don't suck at that.
Yeah. You're very good at wits empathy. Okay. Between the two of you, you're pretty sure that something has her more than a little bit annoyed than you've seen in recent times. For the most part, it's been a quiet year for the bartender. People have stopped, trying to kill all vampire kind, and things have had a chance to calm down.
Oh, great. She's annoyed. That means it's going to be a big job.
Is it not our job to do said job?
And I still have excellent hearing. Pleasure to see you all here so early in the evening.
I figure you're going to punish me for my comment by giving me a job I'm sufficiently going to hate.
Well, I would hope not. It could very well be quite interesting. Currently,
Oh.
the prince is rather occupied. He's in a social call that will take him some few days to conclude. I've just
Okay.
been informed that one of our signatories has gone missing.
Missing, or just we don't know where he is?
Missing, she has not turned up to do her duties as a signatory for the past 2 days.
Unusual.
Indeed.
Sure you want to send us on the path? We have a bad habit of people going missing to turn up dead more times than not. And we go off to find them.
Come now, it's not all doom and gloom as far as your, capabilities are concerned. The sooner they're found, the better.
Have a picture of him?
I have an artist rendering of her. There is no photography.
Yeah, you know. Next best thing.
Of course. I'm going to grab her token. I'll just pull it over so you can see an image of her.
So amazing you can get artist renderings in this modern day and age in mere moments.
Damn, she a titty monster.
She is a bit of a titty beast. This is Louisa Belladonna.
How inappropriate.
It's
But-
2018.
I suppose that's normal for this modern day and age. Well, yes.
Remind me to introduce you to the internet again.
Please, I used the blush of life and whacked myself dry.
I've experienced your internet. It was really nothing that interesting. Though I did discover your game Solitaire and I did enjoy it.
Oh my god. Right then. Louisiana Belladonna?
Louisa Belladonna. I will give you a visible thing. Doot. Doot. I will ask people in the chat, obviously, not to spoil the things that are sat in the GM notes. Indeed, it seems we're in luck. Mr. Wexler, I believe you are, in particular, an information specialist, yes?
Yes, miss.
Very good. And now, sorry, were Angelina and Rose here, or not?
No, I'm hosting my weekly salon.
Okay. And a signatory is a notary boss, effectively. Anytime a notary records any information, a signatory ensures that it is legitimate.
This is a very big deal, man.
There are other signatories still available to the Elysium. She's not the only one, but she is very much an important enough person that her going missing is strange.
It's always the principle of the matter.
Interesting.
And Rose would not be there.
Very well.
What's in it? Saul will open up his briefcase and take out a small folder and start sifting through it.
Honestly, Rose is going to be one of the first people I call.
Tell you what, say... Hedra, would you like to try and throw a skill check at knowing anything about this person?
Sure thing. What do you need?
Let's see here, what would you like to put forward as a potential role?
Well, let's see. Thanks to Eric Memory, if I've ever heard of her, I fucking know it.
Okay.
And you can just blur it out and look through my... If she is a notary, she would have to have things signed and archived.
It is more important that she checks that things... Like, she's the signatory, so she's in charge of the notary. So in a lot of cases, she herself doesn't do much writing down. That said, she definitely does appear in some number of archives. Let's see.
So there would be... what's it called?
You could go with intelligence, politics, perhaps? she would definitely qualify as a member of Invictus Politic.
Would I also get for what's it called? In terms of academical for sorry, again. Trying to remember all the English words for it.
That's fine. Academics in and of itself is actually related to the matters of education. Say you were told to make a knowledge check as opposed to trying to like remember and dredge up details. Academics is where you would go. In this case, it's do you know this person, and by how much do you know about them. It's not an academic feature so much as a personable one.
Would then cross with investigation aid then? Because I'm
Yeah, I'll let you substitute politics for investigation. On the sheet, you can just tick across. It should keep it. And you can have a +2 modifier for your eidetic memory.
+2. And then 9 again.
Yep, it is in your
3.
set.
It's one of my specialization. So
like
it'll be +3.
Yep, it becomes +3 total if it's a specialization.
I feel like investigation should only come up if you've like actually investigated them.
Yeah.
Here's the question, because it might change the answer that you get. Have you investigated any signatories or notaries before?
Have we?
This is Saul specifically. Saul is an information broker. I will add that any time you say, yes, I've investigated this person, I'll either tell you to make something up, or I'll make up something in the background, and that could be bad or good.
Ah, that's very interesting.
So yes,
But was it
have you
seen
actually...
or-
If you've seen her, we're going to go with politics. But if you've investigated her and would like to call it information you've investigated before, you can totally have that 3.investigate.
I would say yes, because knowing, like you said, knowing is one of his things that he needs to do. Especially
Excellent.
when he's dealing with anything that goes in the archives and touches his desk.
His desk, or his dick, sorry.
Not his desk.
Okay.
Does
Alright,
that.
give me the roll.
Okay, so +3 and critical successes on 3+. Hey, where's the... Oh, right, back to the dice. Sorry. +3.
Well, a success is a success. Would you like to spend willpower to throw extra dice at this?
I will like it to willpower. God, that was just so fucking sad.
It's a pretty savage roll.
And that's extra 2 or...
3.
3 dice. It would be 2 if it were a resistance test.
Uh,
And you can just do 3d10 if you would like.
3d10.
Alright, you got
Yay.
another success out of that. And it's a 9 again, so
Yeah,
another
that's
d10, please. Okay, 2 successes.
One.
Alright then.
Oh, yeah, 2.
Yep. So, you have investigated Louisa Belladonna before, but not directly. More importantly, you have investigated one of her ghouls. And indeed, on double-checking this with the bartender, you will learn that she has 2 others. One of her ghouls is on the board of directors for Shady Megacorp. One of the ghouls is a mid-rank officer in the local private military company. They are responsible for goods acquisition, whatever that means. And one of them actually runs the police dispatch office.
Oh, hey, there's a chance can I make a roll to see if I know one of the ghouls?
Absolutely, but let me get through this bit first.
Okay.
Saul, you have, although loosely investigated Louisa, you investigated the goods acquirer for the private military company, and you know them by name. This is Captain Elliot, and I will pull up an image for you. Captain Elliot. They are in goods acquisition, and you are aware of at least 2 of the goods that this individual for the PMC has acquired. Explosives and weaponry.
Sit through the folder and just produce us some of the information needed.
Excellent. Excuse me while I not so secretly roll some GM dice in front of you. Ooh, no 3. Okay. Yeah.
Explosives and what else?
Weaponry in general. Explosives and weaponry are their own different subclass categories because they are not acquired from, as you might expect, the same people or places.
And they're a goal for Louisiana. Louisiana?
Louisa.
Louisa. That's not American. Wait, that.
Yeah, it is.
Louisa. I've never heard anyone.
You never had Louisa? I mean, I knew a few Louisas personally.
Luisa is German.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Belladonna is Italian.
Also true. Although it's possible that it's now bastardized to Belladonna and was something else that was like Franco-European.
Captain Elliot was the only ghoul I could have potentially known, so...
It's possible you've come into contact with the other, who has worked in police dispatch, if you would like to throw a roll at it.
I was gonna throw a resource roll, contacts roll, due to professional trainings with the weapon dealer.
Oh!
Yeah.
I mean, you're welcome to do it. There were only a couple of successes there for that. There's possibly more you could learn personally.
What kind of police contact?
I don't have a police contact, I have a weaponry contact for specifically blades. I have 2 dots of resources, connections. So would it just be roll that raw?
It's your contacts and presumably like your memory and what you might have learned from them, so... either wits or intelligence, I suppose.
I'll do wits. That'll be 5d10. You don't get a 9 again on that, since that's just a contact roll. So, boop. 1 success.
Okay. You have not met Captain Elliot specifically, but you know that she has worked closely with actual, just like normal mortal kind. And they work in some off-the-books deliveries. I don't know, he's this like sort of very Californian guy.
Hey, dude.
It might well be that Gunborough stuff is sort of off the books, scraped from the supplies of the local private military company.
Fair enough. 2 other goals then. One being... All of them are rather high profile, aren't they?
Yes, her ghouls are pretty large up.
It says a lot about the vampire in control of them.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get to that, Angelina. Maz.
Yeah.
Sudden surprise at being called on.
Oh, no, sorry, I was pacing, so I had to jump back into my chair, but not actually jump, or that would have ended back.
Fair enough. At your salon, would you like to try and do some political scrubbing? You know, dish up a little bit of potentially controversial information.
That is why my salon is represented as a 2-dot political clique.
There you have it. I realised that before when I looked at your sheet and thought, this is a pretty good in for giving you things like the social state of politics.
Yeah.
If you would like to make that test, you are welcome to use your manipulation or your presence in order to learn fun things.
Right, manipulation politics, or
Yep.
manipulation socialize, or...
Either of the two. And I will give you, of course, 2-dot modifier for your clique.
Alright, let's go with manipulation, socialize, 2-dot from clique, professional training makes it 9 again. And then, of course, I do have a specialization, so... Oh god damn it! It's done the hover effect.
It has. You got to refresh. Go for it.
Sorry about that.
I just thought of something.
Go ahead. What's up?
I wonder if I can make it canon that I have to keep buying the bartender drinks as apologies for my slipping manners, because as I work for her more and more, I just get increasingly tired.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable, but it's not quite drinks that you would be purchasing. But she probably goes out and, you know, occasionally you have to find her some choice kind.
Yeah. My way of saying sorry, I am a shitty subordinate.
No, I'm sorry, but I am
Well,
shit.
at least you acknowledge it.
Sorry, but I am tired and too shitty for proper manners.
Yeah.
At
Anyway.
least you
Here's my
acknowledge it.
Here's my sign that I at least respect you, despite what my tongue may prove otherwise.
Of course. Alright then. Angelina, there is someone who is always at your salon, and this is because, as a vampire, their hair likes to restore itself to a prior state, and it's always the same tattered mess. And they do this little salon tour every quote-unquote morning. And of course she always comes by your place.
This isn't a hair salon.
No. She does literally a salon tour. Yours is a salon that she goes to.
Okay.
Like, there is a hairdresser, like, right nearby. Run by a very pleasant and, like, probably the most typically homosexual ghoul you've ever seen.
Is his name Raul?
No, it is Fabio.
Oh lord.
And Fabio cuts a delightful coif. And you see, as usual, Miss Giselle turn up. She's got her hair done up in elegant curls that fall down amongst her shoulders. She's got, like, a fancy French, like, beauty mark up on one cheek that is always put in place every morning, just so. And she's a terrible gossip. And it is from Giselle that you learn a little bit about the politics around here, darling. It is always such a pleasure to see you. Let's see here, with 2 successes. What would you like to know about which group? You know, like Lanchea, Carthian, Crone, Invictus, etc.
It's always a good idea to keep a close eye on one's friends. So let's hear what's been up with the Invictus.
With the Invictus? Oh, darling, didn't you know the Prince has a rather large number of very strange friends? Why, he was going to appear to a few of us in just a few days' time, but is most strangely occupied. Goodness knows how they hold their little social calls, but I don't believe he's going to be leaving his office at all in the days to come.
I see. Well, that is most surprising. I had heard that the princes of the Americas, they took such a more direct hand in management.
Of course, darling, it is most certainly strange not to at least see that handsome, charming face at least once a night. I assure you we definitely will suffer for the loss of his company this gracious next few days.
It is most unfortunate. Is that bartender, Elder, doing her usual trick of managing in his place?
Well, I wouldn't call it managing. These days everything seems to handle itself. I suspect she just likes to sit around and drink all the time. But yes, she's certainly our de facto go-to, and so much less of a delightful conversationalist than the prince.
My friend, if you need good conversation, well, where do you need to be but here?
Oh, you're a charmer. I do, however, of course, have a dress fitting in about 30 or so minutes, so I can't stay much longer, but to spend it in conversation with one so perfectly preserved as yourself, and of course...
Well, you flatter me.
I know. Giselle is a bit of a bitch. Over the next half hour in her company, you are treated to the phrase, "Oh darling," no less than 20 times. But yeah, for all intents and
Darling.
oh darling! Yes, exactly. That's Giselle.
Oh, hey, I'm not the only one suffering for once.
Yeah, no, she's... Yeah.
Actually, to be fair, the flaming gay and the sophisticated gay is one of the few speaking ways I do not hate.
Oh no, I mean, they're also both gratefully fun. If you ever go to get a haircut, please do remind me it is Fabio who you're going to see.
I mean, you're talking to the black guy every time I go to the barber shop. You're getting rather talkative black dude or talkative black gay dude or talkative black woman. So you know.
Or,
Well, I mean, of course, but
if
the black woman it's less talkative, more... Never keeping those dreads properly in place. She's always got to retwist them every time. What is it that you do? Throw yourself around?
Look, I literally got this nagging from my cousin 3 weeks ago.
I'm sorry for bringing too much reality there. But yes, no, she constantly pesters you.
On her man again.
No, because my cousin is also a hairdresser.
No, well, sorry, that was maybe a bit too real then.
You know, you're being absolutely real.
I like to know that I have this social zeitgeist of hairdressers on fleek then. Excellent.
you think you would have enjoyed Dad's old barber?
Which barber, sorry?
You just said there was a barber that Dad always went to because he didn't want Mom to cut his hair. So, no, yeah,
No, I can
don't know,
understand
it was
that.
just a thing. Yeah, he just didn't want his wife to cut his hair. So he went to the barber, got his hair cut. The barber said nothing. Dad said nothing. Just sat in the chair, got his hair done, got a bit of got a clean shave with razor, and that's it. Paid, left.
That's
just
so
imagine
strange. I just need someone to touch my head silently.
I just imagine 2 very stoic Nordic men as one of them gets their haircut.
That's pretty much what the fuck it was. I followed. I love to go there because just sit there and just watch him do nothing. Just sit there, be quiet, and just get his hair cut. Like the other guy just expertly just cut and then gave him his shave there. Nice clean, a little bit of dab afterwards, and just done.
Yeah, no.
These days you would not want just a little bit of dab.
No, I think that would literally have punched him out.
Lovely hair today! Oh, dab.
Little dabble, do ya?
Yep. Excellent.
Well, at least it's not fucking Flintstones. Fucking Jabba Dabba Doo.
So yeah, Rose, you're probably totally getting a phone call.
Go right ahead, roleplay it out. Ball is in your court. I've said all I needed to for now.
Rose will answer the phone. With the most white person response. Yellow.
Sup, Rose? Kinda got a few questions for you.
Shoot.
I was wondering if you
Hear
heard
like
of,
club music in the background.
was wondering if you haven't heard of Luisa Belladonna.
You looking for somebody at the pub or?
No, like, have you ever seen her? I mean, normally I wouldn't ping this as your type of person, but she's an absolute titty monster. So I figure if you met her, you wouldn't have forgotten.
How big we talking here?
I'd say if you gave her cow horns, she wouldn't be remiss in a hentai. So pretty damn big, at least H cups.
She's probably just past some G's, but goddamn!
Yeah,
Oh lord, she coming.
we're talking. You could sleep on these things, literally sleep on.
Are we still talking about barbers?
No, I'm calling Rose. I'm guessing if you're asking, you haven't seen them.
Let me search my memory.
Yeah,
How many
please.
girls do you
You can have +1 for each of your ghouls that are like active working in the club, interclub, because they also are people who might have met or interacted with her. People associated.
Okay. No, wrong.
I actually haven't updated your little ghouls sheet though, so I still do not know who your other worker ghouls are yet.
I can only like 3 others.
3 others?
Keep it simple.
Sure.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Yep. Don't forget to pop them on your ghoul sheet at some point.
Yeah. So what am I rolling here?
Let's see if it is indeed your memory and collective memories, intelligence, or wits. And good goddamn question. I guess politics or socialize.
Wits boobology.
Wit socialize
Yeah,
can
wit
do
socializes works. Yeah.
or wit streetwise?
Less streetwise. This would be like if you've encountered them, as opposed to if you like know that she's some kind of ganger. I suppose I'd call it like streetwise would be locating her.
Streetwise, getting the stuff on the streets.
And again,
Suck.
it would be
Suck.
like if you wanted to figure out her address, it would be streetwise, but you have to see if you know her yet. So I'd go with socialize. See if you have come across this lady and her big goddams. She is important. That's why it's politics or socialize. Okay.
Oh, damn.
Ooh, should I spend a willpower?
I want you to spin a willpower.
Get them titty monsters.
Yeah, I'll spend the willpower. Fuck it. I'll search my memory real hard. Gotta get that exception success. Fuck.
Oh, close, but no cigarro. I was gonna say, like, if it were 5, then like one of your ghouls has slept with her before. Then okay.
I was hoping.
Yeah. You've definitely seen a woman with great big goddams that you're sure is kindred. She did her absolute 100% very best to avoid like interacting with your non-vampire clientele. It's hard to say whether it's just racism or safety. But yeah, you've seen this person before, or your ghouls have.
Okay. Also,
Yes.
before I respond to DPL, I just realized aspirations were not brought up at all.
You know
Oh, yeah.
what? You were right. I have not brought up aspirations.
I figured Scare was like not doing that intentionally for like the first bits, so we
I
could
had
actually get
forgotten,
like,
but
cards on the table.
yeah, there is also the side point of you might not know what you're aspiring to yet, and it would just be a whole list of only personal goals. But no, I had forgotten to bring up aspirations when you've got a chance to do them. But we will get to that. We want to get through this introduction fast.
Yeah, I think some of my people here have seen her. Big tits out to here. Just
Well,
holds the phone away. FaceTiming, by the way.
I'm actually surprised you've seen her. You drive clientele from all walks of life, then.
You know what? Everybody wants a slice.
Well, judging by the ghoul she keeps, this might be a little bit of a heavy job. I know you don't like Invictus business, but I was thinking, You know.
Invictus business has Invictus money.
I mean, that too. I mean, I'd rather give you money than like pay you and Etienne with a blowjob again. So you know.
She's always down for another
Blocks.
round.
I mean, of course she is, but my lips need a break.
I'm gonna roll a chance die, see if she's on stage at the moment.
Sure.
Nah, okay.
No. In fact, what she did was she sprained her ankle on stage and isn't working today.
Oh no.
Yeah. There was like, you know, when there are just drinks up on the edge of the stage, someone's elbow must have knocked it and she slipped.
In fact, you know, a blowjob might cheer her up right now. She's sprained her ankle.
Fine, but only if you actually promise to help the job.
Oh yeah. I mean, in addition to payment.
In addition to payment and lunch.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Come on over. Party's just getting started here. FaceTime show the like stage and the crowd.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be on the beat for this one. I'll call you back when I'm gonna need you in complete force, but just stay on standby.
You should tell Rose what the job actually is.
You know, I actually should in character. I was going with the conceit that we already know it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all that Rose knows is he just gone, hey, we got a job. Awesome, I'll call you later.
Have you seen this person? Good.
Yeah, it's
Awesome, they exist? Great, I'll catch you later.
but yeah, we're searching for the person. She went missing. Not completely convinced it isn't her just going off the grid by her lonesome, but a job's a job.
Vampires don't tend to go off the grid on their lonesome unless they have a history for that.
I guess fair enough.
We're very social creatures. I don't know if you've noticed.
I haven't. I spend most of my time rather in my own room or sucking one of your two dicks.
That's very social.
You did what?
Look, Rib, like, Gideon, can you not right now? But yes. Alright.
Gideon goes back to staring at the strange fish.
Fucking blobfish, man, not even once.
Alright, you got a good point. Either way, we're gonna have to find her, and I'm not sure it's gonna be as simple. Bartender looked annoyed, which gives me a bad feeling about this.
Oh, that's a cool fish.
That's a blobfish when it's not, when it's under the appropriate pressure.
Yeah, it is a blobfish when it is intense enough.
It looks like a booger when it's not.
Yeah, no, it's a monster, horrifying.
Explosive decompression.
Man, the ocean's weird. But
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. There are blobfish plushies.
There are. You just saw that same image then. I
just
I
looking
personally think my favorite is
Too accurate.
You see what I did was I searched for idiot blobfish. Sorry, it was too easy. Yeah, like they actually look cool under pressure, and then when they're not. Ugh.
Kind of look like, I think, rockfish when they're under pressure. Is that right?
Pressure,
I think it's the right one.
pushing down on
Ah.
me.
Enjoy your party for now. I'll meet up with you in a little bit.
Alright. So, let's get this party started. Click.
Yep.
You shouldn't be debasing yourself like that.
Look, motherfucker. I am an immortal ninja vampire who could fight Musashi to a standstill. Protecting my masculinity is like so low on my priority list, I don't even care anymore.
According to
Five
Bakido,
minutes
that's impossible.
5 minutes later, DC will get a dick pic from Etienne.
She's looking good.
You are a product of the modern age, aren't you?
I mean, I was born there, so yeah. Also,
Also, she has a very cute penis.
yeah, I mean, come on, you just saw it on my phone. Either way,
Mhm.
we need to get on the beat. I'm not actually going to show the picture to Gideon. No.
Start waving. Hey, check out this fucking sweet dick pic I got, guys.
Gideon stares at you. The blobfish stares at you judgingly.
Fuck you, Bobflish. I don't do what you tell me.
It blobs at you condescendingly.
It always does that, to be fair.
Yeah, just like every other vampire. Come on, let's get started. I have a feeling it's gonna be a long night.
Just looks at Gideon
Hmm.
and says, Pulvis et umbra sumus.
Hmm.
I don't know what that mumbling is.
It's Latin.
No, I was talking about Gideon.
You went,
So, given that the time that the levels of Latin and the understanding of it, just he knows.
Yeah, Gideon in character knows.
Alright, let's pull you guys. I was just.
Indeed.
I figured we were gonna go try to visit Mega. I guess we're gonna go try to visit Mr. Megacorp first. You know, is there like
it's just down the street from me.
is there like a system in place where if somebody's like connected, you can be like you can flash something and be like, okay, yeah, you're or shoved it up the priority list? Because I imagine it's real annoying to get an appointment, the Megacorp CEO kind of figure, and there will be something in place to skip all that bullshit.
There's a possibility that something like that exists, although in a lot of cases, creating some kind of pass is just creating one more piece of paper trail that puts the whole masquerade at risk.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll just. You're right. I'll just use my obfuscate to get through.
Sure.
Or could Herr Wexler just send a few calls?
Yeah, but my way's more fun.
Well, you can obfuscate all you want.
Look, I
Just
didn't
stand
become a
looking at me.
look. I didn't become a vampire, so bureaucracy could be the solve of all my problems. Okay.
You say in the middle of like the Invictus Elysium, where bureaucracy has solved all of their problems.
I know where I am. I know what I said.
You get a look
Point
from
is-
the bartender.
The point is, I want to use my cool vampire powers. I'm saying all this in that character.
You chose the wrong coven for that.
Darian, would you like a ride to the Megacorp?
I refuse to ride on the bike again.
Oh, no, I upgraded.
You upgraded to what?
Yes. A more modern bike.
Like Chuckle.
I don't like that chuckle. Okay.
So you saw it parked in when you drove in here.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
see
I
this.
appreciate the quality and craftsmanship of it.
I'm gonna look at this out of curiosity. There's no guarantee I'm going to be riding it.
I forget what we finally decided on.
It was the India. Such a beautiful fucking bike.
Really, man? You're gonna make me ride in the sidecar?
Yes.
What was it, an Indian
It's
scout?
actually- That's true.
Yeah, it was an Indian with a sidecar.
It was an Indian with a
Yeah.
sidecar. I can't remember which one. There are multiple Indians.
I swear to God, if most of my paycheck didn't go to pleasing the bartender for my poor manners, I'd buy a car and run over your bike just out of spite.
That's one.
Here you go. That didn't paste over like I thought it would. Boop. That's very strange. Copy and
What?
paste are not work. There we go.
And my car is and my ride is mysteriously gone.
The seats are made of leather. Sit down and shut up.
Fine.
I even have a radio in there, just for you.
Ah,
I'll use
with modern music.
I'll use my
Oh.
hand. Thanks.
No.
Actually,
hey,
you know what?
the radio plays, like the happy, like 30s and 40s, 40s California.
Oh, Motown. Oh, like
you know,
Motown.
white people.
Yeah,
Not Motown,
Hey.
like the happy. What's the name?
Oh,
white people
jingles.
making-
Jingles.
Yes,
Well, I guess this is modern by his standards.
sunshine, lollipop.
Lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop. Dum bum.
I'm groaning the entire ride through.
Gideon has a helmet with goggles and a scarf on.
You should have had Rose come over and meet you already.
Yeah, hindsight 2020.
You could have
At
rode
least it's
bitch
better.
instead.
But at least it's better than what you were riding.
That's debatable.
Okay, so your first port of call is the Megacorps area. Saul, I imagine your car has something along the lines of a car phone. Would you like to try and call ahead and make people's lives easier? Or are you going to leave it up to your vampire ninjas?
Just looks at the start driving away. Reaches in and gets one of the private, non-smart dumb phones.
Yep.
Types in a few numbers and calls ahead.
Sure. Is it like a classic shell phone?
Yeah, like these motherfuckers are still on the MMT net.
Let's see here.
Like that was before GSM. That was MMT. That was during the 80s and 90s.
God, how sad. I looked up classic shell phones to see, classic shell phones. And instead it's classic shells that go on phones. Like, come on, no.
Can
I
Gideon
mean-
get,
But
can Gideon
I
get
still
like a
got them up.
Nokia?
I mean, in America, internet companies like fucking broadband, fucking dial-up still exists, so that way internet companies can say, look, we don't have a monopoly. People can choose to go back to dial-up if they want to. Totally legit.
yeah,
Scar, have you considered googling flip phone?
This is true. Flip phone also works. It's more like a shell phone that used to be the phrase used to describe them, and now I'm looking at it, and it's that has obviously changed.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been flip phone for a while now.
okay. So
I don't know if
it's the analog, before G1.
Yeah.
So it's the older types of phone.
Let's see here. Quite literally like that, I imagine. No. There.
Yes. Yeah. Let's just go with that. That works pretty much.
Yeah. Go there. Oh man, I just opened one up and saw the fucking ancient, real old ones with an amazing fucking charging case. Imagine trying to charge a phone like this. Shonk.
Yes. And yes, I've actually charged phones like that. So
I can safely say I haven't. I avoided the
now,
flip
fuck, you weren't
phone.
even born back then.
Yeah, I avoided that. I think my oldest phone literally was the invincible Nokia. Which, as far as first phones go, pretty good.
Yeah, that's stupidly solid choice.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you open
yes,
up your
today's,
your old flip phone.
Yeah, in today's world, these things are effectively untrackable.
For the most part. It's not uncommon for Shady Megacorps to receive phone calls from completely unknown numbers, but it does put you in a hold ring for a long time while it does that thing of ticking around and making sure this number doesn't appear elsewhere.
Look, I know you're the writer here, but I feel like saying Shady Megacorps is a redundancy.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's actually called Shady Megacorp. Well, it's a Megacorp, and the actual business is called Shady, as in it used to be called Shady Trees, and then it got shortened down to be more in touch with like the new modern folk. Of course, everyone knows it now as a joke. Yeah,
Now we're just actually in Mr. Robot.
yeah,
Not TCL. They slimmed that.
yeah. Absolutely.
Slim Shady.
But yeah, I suppose the calls are put up ahead. Once we get there, I'll be starting to make myself up with Obfuscate to look like an important business person here on important business things. Does
Alright.
not need to be stopped by a mere
Let's
secretary.
see here. Shady Megacorps.
No,
All
but
right.
you will be. Well, the secretary won't fucking stop you. The fucking armed guards will.
Megacorp's ground floor is not armed guards, but trying to go up and around through the building unallowed would,
Yeah.
I feel like
mostly
I,
compacting.
fe- I feel like it should mention that in most realities, in most American companies, you don't have like actually armed security.
Not on the
But
ground
I'm
floor
saying-
of this place, but they would definitely have people who are, as far as we're all concerned, totally not armed security. And if someone got shot by a security guard, it's obviously with the gun that was disarmed off the person who got shot.
Well, if we're talking about
Yeah.
those people, they should know what's up. So, yeah.
TCL, but you're also gonna be not knowing where the hell you're going because nothing is labeled because
Wait.
you're directed at where to
It
go.
does. What's important is not knowing where to go, but looking like you know where to go.
Certainly
Yeah,
helps.
but we're not gonna get far because it's one fucking elevator.
Well, fair enough. I assume we had some information about the ghoul at least.
Okay.
You never ask.
You did not ask. That said, Saul, you're welcome to try and pull up this information. You are aware of them all. You've not heard this ghoul's name before. They did not come up in your investigation. Because, trying to scrape information off the Megacorp is generally considered not smart.
No.
That said, you know they exist. And are on the BOD.
So let's start getting the pad out and scratch a little out.
Okay. Would you like to give me an investigate test? It has a -2 modifier because you're doing this, definitely not face-to-face, and definitely not on a computer or anything. You're doing it by, call around, I believe.
Yeah.
Sure.
I figured we could just ask the bartender. I didn't even bother ask because I figured she'd just give us that information.
Nope.
Yeah,
So we didn't
see?
Is it? It's just like an extra step
Too
to go.
late, dude. You're on a fucking bike. Sorry, you're in a sidecar on a bike.
I mean, I figured she'd give it to us if we're doing an investigation in a missing vampire.
You started to call on a phone for sucking dick, and then you ran off.
You might have learned it from the bartender, but no, she did not pass that information to you
Okay.
unasked. It's possible that she expects you, it's entirely possible that she thought that was a power play, no need to ask, I can figure that shit out myself.
She should know me by now.
She should, but at the same time, it doesn't change expectations.
Okay, so what you want? Intelligence investigation.
Yes, please. You have a -2 modifier, because, again, you're doing this remotely.
Yes. Can I do it? Is it a long and what's it called extended or?
Let's see here. It's, pretty casual drive. Yeah, it could be an extended test if you would like, but you can also, if you would prefer, just make it a standard test.
But here's the thing. I have good time management, so I can do 2 extended tests on the time it takes to make 1 regular.
Oh, excellent. Alright then, I will let you ask me 2 questions in regards to stuff as you investigate. Please, do make your rolls.
I will do so. And then a -2, you say, so
Yep.
I will spend the power just to make sure.
Okay.
Investigation. And then. So that's maybe -1. So 2. Straight up.
Go for it. Ooh,
Oh, you snaggle pussing. Oh, you
Alright.
snaggle pussing me.
Alright, would you like to try your second test? It looks like if you succeed, you're only getting 1 question out. It's a good thing you're able to make 2.
GG Nuri.
Hello. Yeah, this is.
Oof.
By the way, I
Wow.
also have a phone call to make on the way.
You sure? What would the details of that be while Hedge was rolling this up?
I am going to call Weiss.
Sure. It'd be Vice, but yes. Go for it. In fact, I'll let you roleplay that out. Well, wow, fuck. That's where all your dice just fucking went.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, that's 3 critical success then. Sorry, 3 exceptional success then.
Yeah, basically.
Not quite how
It's
it
not
works.
not technically how that works, I'm afraid, but it is a horrendously huge success. You see, what I was going to do was reduce the amount of information you gained by what is effectively like I've suddenly forgotten the word for it. A place that you live in that's safe. Safe house. Like, there is a safe house factor to information gained about these people that is essentially a takeaway as a negative modifier. Even if I do that, you're still exceptional. So, fuck. I'll let you ask me 2 questions and I'll give you full answers in regards to them.
Okay, so. God damn it, guys. What
Yeah.
do you do? It's like, it's either a 0 or fucking massive crit. It's like.
And arguably, that 9 is better than getting 2 5s, because again, I would have been able to reduce the value of those exceptional successes by at least a bit. But no, I cannot actually drop that number low enough to stop it from being exceptional. It's impossible.
Okay.
Go on then.
Okay, so. We have a name.
Would you like that to be your first question? What is this ghoul's name? I'll of course
Yes.
posit a little bit more than just the name, but okay. Indeed, I will give you
Yes.
an image of them. Let's see here. It is
Or
not-
rather, it would be their bio.
Yeah. Okay. So you get on the line. It's to like a night receptionist who you're pretty sure must have consumed some kind of recreational drug, judging by the pace at which he speaks. But when you ask about the members, he describes a number of the BOD that actually frequent the Megacorp, and you narrow it down. Like, any of them work particularly late nights, strange schedules, they have interesting visitors, particularly perhaps a lady with huge humongous chest beefers, and you narrow it down pretty quickly to one Mr. James Holder. James Holder, by all accounts, his actual age is unconfirmed, although he looks to be a man in his greying but sturdy 50s. He is a wickedly intelligent, and has apparently worked with the Megacorporation in a non-BOD position for a number of years before being elevated, as opposed to what it usually is for the case where, wicked nepotism puts people in charge. So he's definitely regarded as someone with very much a high degree of intelligence.
Interesting. That's always good to know.
Yeah, and what is your next question?
Next question would be if he wouldn't mind a short discussion. So a short meeting regarding a certain Miss Belladonna.
I'm gonna roll a chance die. Give me a moment.
I mean, if he does mind, I'm just going to interrupt him anyways.
They can't tell you that in reception, but they can give you a contact number for him, so you can try yourself.
Motherfucker, I'm on loose
Yes.
cannon mode.
Saul's learning this in the car on the phone at the moment, and you're currently scooting along in a sidecar listening to old 30s music.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that.
Surfing USA. You got fucking Beach Boys going here.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
At this
don't knock,
point,
don't knock the Beach Boys.
at
I
this
saw-
point,
I
I'm-
legit-
Talking.
Yeah, I
I mean,
legit saw them in concert. I saw them in concert. It was
Wait,
good.
Because you are a fucking 60-year-old man in a young man's body.
I was just saying
Hell
at this point,
yeah.
I'm just resigned to bobbing my head to the music. I'm like, I don't want to do it, but
Yeah, of course.
Next
Welcome
time
back.
we go, the next time we go in, should we just say that I'm a confused old man and you're the one helping me around?
That usually doesn't work for corporations on account of none of them having empathy. But I'm gonna turn off this music real quick because I need to make a call.
Serving you as a.
Alright, while you're calling Angelina, I'll be right back a moment to fetch a fresh beverage.
Okay.
And
So, yeah,
I'm gonna listen to music on YouTube.
So yeah, I call Angelina and I'm like, "Hey, Angelina, it is your boss, mentor, senior."
Ah, Herr
Arian.
Culbreth. Greetings, guten Tag. How are you?
I'm questionable, riding bitch in a motorcycle, but you know.
Oh, please, you should have called earlier. I would have sent one of the Metzgers.
Oh right, you can do that. Fuck. Well, too late for that. Either way, the reason I'm calling you is because we got a job to do. Gonna be investigating some ghouls. Pretty big power players from the sounds of it. And considering how I'm pretty sure you frequent those kind of things, I was thinking it'd probably be a good idea to test the newbies out to see how resourceful it can be.
New. I will remind you, Darian, though I am newly awakened in this city, I am a baroness.
Yeah, I keep getting the vampire structure like mixed up. Look, when you're working with people who've been alive longer than you have even known history existed, it gets kind of confusing.
It can.
Either way, the point is I could really use your help. Going over to Shady Corp if you want to get yourself involved.
Very well, I shall meet you there.
Awesome. I owe you at least a lunch, Angelina. And a paycheck, but that gets taken care of. Seeing however long it takes you to get here?
You know, I don't believe I am actually officially salaried.
Do not worry, no, he isn't either. He spends all his salary on fake swords and those little Japanese figurines.
Hey, she didn't need to know that, Gideon.
Ah.
Okay, both of you forgot you even know that. I'll see you here in like 20 minutes.
What's a figurine?
It's a doll.
Now, you can't hear that. Actually, you can. Shut up. I'll see you here, Angelina. And I hang up before you can get me in any more trouble.
I return in good timing.
Seriously, how did you even know that I buy that? You're not smart enough to search internet history.
You don't think I haven't gone through people's files before?
That's on file. Jesus fuck.
Everything you do in the Elysium's computers are on file.
Well, I feel sorry for the poor sap that has to go through my porn history.
It was an unfortunate ghoul.
Right then. Well, I figure we are just coming up to Shady Corp, and now we are waiting on both Angelina, and I figure Saul is called ahead to ruin my fun.
Well, no. Now, Saul has a number. I'll sort of shift you guys around. Oh, sorry, I need to like move everyone's fucking icons to technically on the front. There we go. Alright. You're all able to gather up in Megacorpville.
I am fitting my imaginary suit and tie.
Of course,
Actually,
of
I
course.
will probably be wearing a real one underneath the obfuscate at this point.
Makes sense.
So, should we do the confused old man, or...
Gideon, you're an old white man with a lot of money. You basically fit in here by default.
True, and by your modern standards, I have very little empathy for modern man, so I fit in even better.
Just sits in the car as you see a fucking black Bentley parks next to the building.
Ah, that would be Saul.
Yeah, alright. Saul, would you like to try your hand at calling James Holder?
Yes, it would be nice. Let's give this number a try.
Alright. It rings once, it rings twice, and it just picked up. Holder speaking, how can I help?
Greetings, Mr. Holder. This is Herr Wexler. I'm calling because we have a mutual acquaintance that needs discussing.
Mutual acquaintance, you say? My line's protected. You don't have to speak around the bush here. What are we talking about?
Lady Belladonna.
Alright, very well, give me a minute. And then you can hear there's like a flapping of paper around. And can you give me a wits empathy test, please?
A wits empathy.
Yep, -2 because you're on the phone.
Okay. Oh, what? Thought I heard something in the background there.
Just someone knocking a microphone.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And you said a -2?
Yep, it's hard to tell over the phone. He sounds uncomfortable. Definitely uncomfortable.
Man,
You cut off their DCL.
I was about to make an accountant joke.
Go on.
Fine. I was like, I'm surprised you have any empathy at all. I thought accounting school would have beaten that out of you.
Hey, I mean, you're not entirely wrong. I've got another accountant joke for you. What did the constipated accountant do? He worked it out with a pencil. Okay. While you're parked up in front of the Shady Megacorp, the rain is starting to pick up. It's gone from like this miserable drizzle to like legitimately heavy.
Man, I've got an
The
umbrella.
driver comes out with an umbrella before opening the door, and Dexter steps out.
The hell? You have a guy for an umbrella holding?
The person holding the umbrella looks like faint offended. Like, it's obviously a driver as well.
Just looks at Darian like,
Man, I killed an immortal death cult of vampire hunters, and I didn't get a fucking umbrella carrier.
I just smack him in the face with the head of my cane.
How? What? It's a legitimate question. It's a legitimate complaint. Whatever. Now we're just waiting for Angelica.
Angelica! Damn you, Tommy Pickles!
Angelina. Fucking mind went to Rugrats. I'm not even gonna lie.
Excellent, excellent. Angelina, what do you roll in?
Well, I have staff, so there's no reason for me to drive myself.
Of course. So, likewise, are you parked in a lovely car, and then a man steps out and gets an umbrella and opens it up so Angelina could step out?
Oh, come on. Why does all the new...
It's less lovely so much that it's just old and classic.
Oh, come on. Why does all the
Yes.
new but actual old
looks at
umbrella carriers?
just while the door is open, just reaches on the side there, clicks a button, and a handle pops out. So grabs it, pulls out an umbrella out of the fucking car door, and just hands it to Darian.
Oh, no. I already had one. I mean, mine's probably not as fancy as yours, but, you know.
Well, at least you can hold it up for Sir Gideon.
Doesn't he have one himself?
Oh, that's what you're for.
Hey, excuse me, I will cut you in half, motherfucker. Now,
They do not grab my
Cat.
Did you grab Gideon's umbrella or not though on the way out?
I suppose I'm holding the umbrella. I already said I was, so
Yeah.
I'll just like look at the umbrella I'm holding and go, fucking shit. No respect, I tell you. Anyways, I'm guessing that Saul called ahead and got the information for the appointment. Because I totally did not forget about to ask the name. Something as basic as that, surely. No, Darian is not that retarded. I say all completely out loud.
Okay. He just looks at him and said, very well, what is his name then?
I already have you for that, because that's how clever I actually am not. But yeah. I suppose you did put the calls in for it and get the name?
Yes, I got a little bit more, but now I'm getting some info while on the call.
Alright.
I'm just watching your GIF, and I'm not even surprised. I'm just disappointed.
Oh yes. I mean, come on, I've had I've had that moment.
Yeah, no, everyone has. One of my old favorite jokes about like seeing an inside-out umbrella in the middle of like a rainy street and go, you should have a moment of silence for those people, because in a lot of major cities there's a trash can every like couple of minutes. But when you see an umbrella alone, inside out, on the floor, you know the owner of that umbrella was having a truly shit day, and their umbrella went out for the 6th time, and they went, fuck this shit, and ditched it.
Yeah, just fuck it. And yeah, no, since I guess I have so many other important looking people with actual umbrella carriers, I'll just disguise myself as somebody unimportant to take notes in the background. Let's move through the building. Because I'm going to use my vampire powers one way or another.
If
That's
you're with
fair.
me and you're wearing a suit, you already look less important, so you're fine.
Hey. Just
Savage.
because you were born from an age of racism doesn't mean I'm going to let that fly.
There was no
It
racism.
means that you're a young man next to an older gentleman.
I can make myself look older. Probably can't pull it off. Still enjoy life too much.
That's not like the youth of today. They hate life.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, very
It's-
nice. Okay.
It's a different kind of hate.
I mean,
Nice.
they don't enjoy life because they're not vampires, so you know.
Is that a fucking old Buick or?
No, first generation Lincoln convertible.
Was that a
Ben,
first gen?
Yeah, review of a first gen.
God damn, I love vehicles that still had curves.
See, of course, when I see Lincoln convertibles, I think of like the the really rectangular boxed out ones.
No,
Oh,
God, no.
No,
But look at this.
no.
It had curves.
See, I don't have any love for old cars because if I was alive back then, I wouldn't be able to afford one anyways.
Oh, here's the thing. You could afford them back then.
This is what I had been thinking of. I forgot that there's just another type of fucking Lincoln that's not the Continental.
Oh God, no.
It just drives around the
Oh,
pimp
this-
mobile.
Wait, what?
This
I
is
thought
the Continental, but this is the Continental Cabriolet.
I thought those were popular.
Hmm?
I'm surprised.
I believe it's the instinct that it's because it's a pimp mobile.
Well, okay. I feel bad now that I've spoken. I feel like that should have been said.
I'm afraid that anyone who rides around in a Lincoln Continental probably has hose or drug money or both, and it rides a lot lower than it should.
I feel like by saying, but I thought that was popular says a lot more about me than anything else.
Afraid so.
But yeah, Gideon. I should probably put this in character because this is not me just going like fuck it, but it is me going fuck it. You could tell Darian is not taking himself or the situation nearly as seriously as he once would have.
You are learning.
But yeah, at this point, he'll make himself inconspicuous and let the gathering of rich old vampires take the lead on this one until we get up to the guy.
Sure. Tell you what, hey DCL. Let's see here. I imagine you to be the kind of person who, when they walk up to a place, they do that what happens if we get into a fight risk assessment. Would you like to try and put some kind of role forward for that?
Yeah. I would say that's probably Wits composure.
Sounds good to me. Do you have any modifiers? Not really, no.
I would. Whoa, nice. I
Shit.
would ask for a bonus mod for.
Here, I have
He
to
is
check.
professionally trained, correct? Correct.
Yeah,
In like actual fighting, sadly, not in like
like military.
he's not actually Solid Snake trained. He's actually a fighter.
Yeah, I'm not. My training is actually specifically in fighting other vampires, which is why I'm allowed to get away with using a fucking katana.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, there'd be no practical use for it.
That's true.
But at the same time, usually vampires are the only thing I care about. As I tried to get out of my lane once and got smacked for it.
Okay. There are a number of hidden cameras, and you're pretty sure that they have already done sweeps of you guys, like it's impossible not to be noticed. And that also means that cameras have looked at your blurry faces. If they are active feeds, people are aware that blurry faces have approached. And that would mean, you know, it is almost certain that someone in this mega corporation, on your approach, is aware that vampires are waiting outside. Not only that, you notice that there are... I mean, I hesitate to use the phrase kill holes, but there are kill holes.
Yeah, I've of course got my weapons obfuscated and my armor on.
Yeah, it's unlikely that there's anyone peeping obfuscation, but yeah, there's probably people aware that vampires are approaching. I have to describe the building in and of itself. It is like the tall, like big city glass building, except all of that glass is like the more modern version of sun shielded, which means that those windows get very, very dark, especially if there's no office lights on inside, and there only are a number of levels. And in this pissing dark rain and this like oppressive pallor that's settled over the city, it looks frankly terrifying. It looks and reminds some of the older people here of like deep castellas of old, like reigned over by miserable old venerable elders even of their time then. Except it is an undoubtedly modern and loveless machine.
Oh my fucking god.
This reminds me of France. Good times.
I just realized I have empathy lying that's been on my character sheet for a fucking while.
Ah,
I'm basically the secret police.
yeah. They even gave you a little armband.
They even gave me a little arm. God damn it! Am I the baddie?
I mean, I'm not gonna say you work as the secret police for the vampire government, but you work as the secret police for the vampire government.
You are a
But
junior
hey,
secret.
at least you're not the German in the Gestapo-styled overcoat.
Fair enough. I just went to there. Oh my god.
Well, okay. Wait, you're. Ah,
Saul Wexler, Jewish accountant. Please meet Angelina Weiss, dressed like a member of Gestapo.
Suddenly very uncomfortable.
That's why I made the fucking joke. I'm like, wait a minute, our party composition.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we've got the Gestapo, we've got prime rich Jewish accountant, and Al Capone standing outside an evil megacorp.
Well,
And we're the supposed heroes.
You're the good guys of
We're
your
the
own story.
protagonists.
Yeah, you're the good
Please
guys of
never
your own
mix
life.
that up.
True.
all right.
Well, don't worry. It's like Vexler was doing a folder on every person he has to deal with.
It's true. Does Angelina Weiss have any ties to prior or current Nazi activities? Just gonna cover that one out nice and clear.
She fled her home in Austria about 6 months before Anschluss.
There you
See,
go.
there was that one season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Okay, of course. I mean, to be fair, it's not unlikely that both of you have Nazi gold somewhere in your bank accounts.
Fuck, are you
Oh,
kidding?
no,
I'm sure half
don't-
of the vampire community is supported by Nazis.
let me just say, he moved away from when it started, like, apparently the business is gonna be a lot harsher.
Something
right now,
Kristallnacht.
Yeah, and Kristallnacht was one of the, like, yeah, it was the signal shot for literally all Jewish vampires to GTFO
Oh.
because
So
Yeah.
you pulled what one of my ancestors did. He was a personal guard of Russia, and the moment he started to realize shit was going down, he got out while the getting was good.
Sometimes you just,
yeah,
sometimes you
Some
just
some
get-
people did in fact profit.
No, he was
Yeah,
great.
and
He was a personal guard to the last Tsar, and the moment he started smelling shit was going down that they couldn't fix, he upped and left for America.
Yeah, it's a good call.
nice. Yeah, but it's all got out because they needed a signal to see, like, on the first open violent action. That's the signal to GTFO.
Actually,
Vandalization, things like that. That's low key.
Do you two know each other?
Open.
that was what I was just going to ask. Where was Saul before he left?
Fry squint. No,
I
here's the thing.
guess I can say I was in Vienna
Yes.
at
You
that
bitch.
time. Do we actually? Would our characters know each other, Hedra? Like this?
So many coincidences. This is great.
Okay, here's the thing. He has an eidetic memory, but he never forgets things he sees or hears. If he saw your fucking face on either of the papers or the people moving, he would remember it. If it hasn't said anything, it's just been, we meet again.
It's like, oh shit.
That said, Torpor will have robbed both of you of identical or not. Torpor does rob you with memories. So I mean, if your familiarity with her was just in having seen her face, then no, you wouldn't actually remember her. That's generally how Torpor works.
Yeah, torpor is
So-
just fucks with your memory. Doesn't make you lose everything, but it makes you lose maturity.
But yeah, I guess to bring it all back down.
Of course. You
So
are
we
waiting
have-
outside the Megacorp.
So we
Yeah.
have the Jewish accountant.
We're approaching.
Suit designed by Hugo Boss.
We're
And
approaching.
someone.
We are approaching Shady Corp.
Yes, but here's the thing. That's why you got the umbrellas, because if they're angled a bit, the top-down cameras won't naturally see your face.
Yeah, okay. And I've been reminded that right now is probably a good time to do aspirations and make sure that we're going into the rest of this session with things that you want to accomplish. Now, aspirations, for those unfamiliar or it's been a while, are the main means through which you get some experience. You'll get 2 beats at the end of every session regardless, but you'll get 1 beat for completing any of your aspirations. Aspirations of a longer term that you walk towards will get a plus in them, which means that when you finally score them, they're worth more points. It is typically a good idea to have 1 long-term aspiration and 2 short-term aspirations. You have a total of 3 at any time. You can't change them mid-session, but you can change them at the start of any session where aspirations are called upon. And so, Angelina Weiss.
Yeah.
I'm going to be making a brand new shiny document for aspirations, I think, because my old one was a fucking mess. So that's Windmill Drive. Make the Excel of
It was a
spreadsheets.
big conquering slot.
It was all over the fucking place. It was.